Hey guys, it's me Shane, and I'm here to bring you another Yashahime Princess Half Demon episode review recap. Today's episode 13 is called The Delicious Feudal Monks. Uh, Hope you notice. Let me know if you notice anything. I got myself a webcam that has a light on it. I'm recording on something different, but I'm using a light from this webcam. I actually like it. And yeah, this is the day after Christmas, and I have a bad hair day, but I got this nice cap. Hey, I like my shirt. Had to represent one of my favorite teachers. Anyway, let's get right into this. So, I usually tell you about last time. I'm going to be legitimate with you guys. I actually forgot what happened last episode, and I know it involved the three, our three half demon princesses, but I legitimately couldn't remember that it dealt with Kontotsu getting information on the girl's weaknesses and things of that nature. So who cares? Let's just go on to this episode. We are quickly greeted by three monks, and one of the monks looks really familiar. He's actually this other monk that died pretty badly in Inuyasha. I think it's like season one or two. He was this monk with a little mustache. And he was going against somebody that he knew was a demon, but they always going against Kikyo, and Kikyo ended up causing him some issues. I thought she killed him, maybe she didn't, but this guy quickly dies now because we are greeted with the final fourth peril, Totetsu. He also looks like a giant, this weird dog demon that was empowered by the jewel shards that fought against Inuyasha in Inuyasha. So he shows up. He wants to eat this monk. This monk brings out this three prong. I know it's a Buddhist monk artifact. It's also something you usually see with the god Ashura with the six arms. Is usually holding one of these. He tries to shock him, and the Totetsu pretends to be hurt, grabs him, just eats this guy whole. And he tells his I guess his disciples. He tells them to run away. And while dudes getting munched on, they run away after mourning the loss of their master. And well, this guy spits out the monk's effects and says, "Man, he's not tasty. I wish I could get someone that's as tasty as Sanzo." If you remember, Journey to the West, Sanzo was the monk that had went on that long journey. And remember, the four perils are from the mainland. I'm guessing the mainland is China because they still won't say where it is. And so, excuse me. And so, Totetsu spits this little cloud out, the same cloud we saw the little Meijubo spit out to get everybody to escape. He rides on this thing and he pulls out, an orange rainbow pearl. Says, "Can you, lead me to tasty monks?" And they take, he takes off into the sky, and that's where our intro starts with the song. Um, we're greeted back to the Demon Slayer village. Kohaku tells the twins, along with his nephew Hisui, we've got reports of a demon that is slaying uh, monks, virtuous monks, and strong priests. This is crazy. He says they already eaten between 5 to 6 of them. So Kohaku's going to take the other two guys, Roku and Nanase, 6 and 7. He's going to take them, go to the East Temple because there's some pretty strong monks there. Tells Hisu to take the twins and go and protect Brother. We all know who Brother is, right? It's Miroku. Miroku is going to be protected by his son because the son goes, he's not virtuous. He's shameless. Kohaku's telling him be nice. Of course, Hisu goes off with the twins to go protect his father. We get to see Moroku, training and running. He jumps over a cliff, misses the cliff, but grabs a branch, and he's doing this chanting under a waterfall, and he's doing the meditation on top of the giant rock that you saw from Demon Slayers. Just kidding, but it's a giant purification stone, more or less. And we get a little cut in to who is obviously Sangou, even says her name. Sangou, who's doing something in her back turn, and we see his oldest daughter, or well, his daughters were twins, but we see Hisu's oldest sister, Her name is Gyokoto. I'm just gonna call her Gyoko. Okay. The rest of this, her name's Gyoko. She asked if she heard from word from Miroku. She says no, and she's gonna go off and meet with her dad. Hisui says that Miroku has been training. He's going to train for 1,000 days, and of course, Toa breaks it down for all of us. Thank you, Toa, for being useful. That's 2 years and 270 days. He's been there for 2 years already, and he roughly has 200 days left. Uh, Hisu still has, he harbors some ill will. He's saying that, he just call him straight shameless, right? And we'll get into why he says that a little bit later. So we get to, and it's really nice to finally get to see like the OG's faces. Even though we got to see the back of Sango's head, we finally get to see his face. And of course, he has long hair because he's been training for 2 years. But it's fantastic to finally get to see someone's face and not a mirror image of the side or a silhouette of who Shishomaru or Inuyasha or anything like that. We did get to see Inuyasha's face, but I digress. They finally meet Miroku. Gyoto beats them there and meets with her father, and she's saying who are those people that are traveling with, her little brother. They're riding on Kirara. Miroku obviously knows who they are. Toa, of course, is nice enough to introduce herself, saying that she's older sister of Sasuna. Hisu does introduce Miroku to them and them to Miroku. And Miroku's very surprised. He says, Sasuna, you're a demon hunter. She's like, do I know you? Just needlessly rude, mind you. Sometimes the rudeness can be funny. This wasn't really all that fun. It's just annoying. And he says, well, you know what? Maybe it's a blessing that you don't remember me. So it's cool. Nice to meet you. You said you're her older sister. Okay, that's interesting. That's it. But we'll get into that later. So Hisu says he's gonna go off and patrol and look around the area, even though he's pretty sure no one's gonna come for his shameless father. Uh, and Miroku says, well, he's gonna go ahead and go back to training, even though there's a demon coming towards him, coming to possibly eat him, right? And one of the coolest things that I forgot to mention was that while he was training on the stone when Gyoko was on her way, he knew it was Gyoko before she got to the top of the stairs. He's like, oh, Gyoko. I know she has a twin sister. I just don't know where. Her twin sister didn't show up. Maybe she's married. Anyway, he's going to training, and he's saying, hopefully, in 1,000 days, hopefully he gets divine powers because, Hisu had already explained it, but Miroku utters it again. And Toa says, so there's a chance that all this training will be for nothing? He's like, there's no such thing as useless training. Training is training, even if I get just a little bit stronger. Thank you, Miroku. Anyway, Sasuna asks him if he's not confident and in his abilities, and he flat out says, I had a thing called the wind tunnel, and we get a nice little flash of when he had used the wind tunnel. His eyes and mouth was bleeding. And he says, even when I lost that ability, I continued to slay demons, and then one day there was a demon that I could not beat, and I realized how powerless I was. So then I decided to do some training to hopefully get stronger, so I can be more prepared. Uh, and this is a nice bit of foreshadowing. Hopefully, I remember to bring this up again. I'm just gonna make myself a note. Foreshadow. So we are quickly cutting over to the east Buddhist priest temple, and Moroha is greeted by Kohaku and Roku and Nana. Pardon me. And they say, "Oh, you're here." And she's like, I'm being a Yojimbo, which literally means guard in Japanese. She was hired to be a guard, so even if she doesn't slay anything, she's gonna get paid just to guard them. And she's saying, but she knows for sure that the demon's gonna come, so she's gonna get double paid. And Kohaku says, well, we'll go to the south. And in a very funny moment, we see Totetsu flying over where Moroha is and just going right past her. Even though she's so confident, her confidence doesn't mean anything because he's not stopping. There's no strong monks there. He's not even going to bother. Gyoko, she takes some chips that obviously Toa has, saying it's delicious, and she's saying, you guys should, I should get you some tea. And Toa asks, why is Hisu doesn't like his father too much, and Gyoko is just she's laughing about the situation. She's saying it's a bit of a misunderstanding. Father had to leave, and Hisu has been supporting the family, and he had to go through a lot of punishment. Miroku had to go through a lot of punishment. I guess she's laughing. I guess Sangou might have punished Miroku, and Setsuna finally knows through this bit of dialogue. This is the monk Miroku. Okay, I know who he is now. And Miroku was also wondering if maybe she didn't recognize him because he has longer hair and he's wearing different clothing. Meh, what? Okay, but whatever. But that bit of dialogue from Gyoko was kind of confusing. I couldn't tell if it was Hisu that was being punished or if it was Setsuna, not Setsuna, Miroku that was being punished. But Toa does come up with a good, how do I say, analogy later on. I'm just going to say right now. She says, so basically, it's like if Papa Sota had quit his job and went to train at a ramen place that may or may not work out, and that, you know, Mama had to, Mama and the family had to, try to support themselves while he's going on this venture. That's what she likened to. Makes a lot of sense. Um, Gyoko kind of smiles, tells her younger brother she's gonna borrow Kirara, and he's saying his father's a coward, coward who he just ran away and just using this training as an excuse to run away. He knows for a fact this demon isn't going to attack him, and Totetsu literally moments later just flies straight towards Miroku. He's like, okay, you may not be tasty like Sanzo, but I'm definitely gonna get something out of you. Um, we get this weird bit of dialogue where the twins are asking, who the heck are you? He's like, why should I tell you? I'm not gonna tell you. Who are you? You're not gonna tell me. I'm not gonna tell you. And Miroku just cuts through the BS and goes, you're one of the four perils, aren't you? He's like, yeah, man, you do got some power. You know your stuff. Of course, the twins are like, okay, so we know who this guy is. He's one of the four perils. Again, they still don't tell him who they are, which I don't know if that's gonna have bearing in the future. So then a battle takes place. It's I want to say it's even, but this guy is really really tough. Like he has this wind tunnel like ability where he's just sucking in air and he's trying to eat everyone. Moroku tells Hisu to take care of everything, and he runs off. Hisu like, of course, should have expected that. Hisu hides behind the training stone right there, and the girls are trying to move around. They eventually move around to the side of the temple. Dude breaks the temple home and eats some of it. It just goes gross. It gives them a chance to counterattack, but the counterattack doesn't make a difference because this guy is actually really, really, really strong. Moroku shows back up with his trusty staff. His son. Hisu goes, "Oh, you came back?" He's like, "Yeah, I can't depend on you to do everything." And at the moment, Hisu kind of has like a aha, Daddy isn't a coward moment. And he asks him if he has the Demon Slayer poison. Next time dude sucks the stuff in, throw that poison, right? Moroku becomes a distraction. Of course, the guy's gonna try to eat him. Hisu throws the poison, but just like a moment I skipped over, when this battle began, Totetsu had when he started showing everybody he could suck in everything, he ate the chips. Toa had threw some habanero hot sauce at him, which burned his tongue and made him spew flames. Didn't do much, but just annoy him. In this instance, he eats the poison, but spits it out and sends like a poison wave at Hisu, who accidentally inhales some of the poison. So he's kind of out of commission for right now. Uh, Meanwhile, Toa and Setsuna, they're trying their best to battle this. Setsuna uses her Cyclone Burst to go against this guy, can spew out wind. So it's a clash. Toa can't get close, but she's distracting him while Setsuna goes to Miroku and asks him to sticks out her hand and has the Naginata undo the seal. And I was like, there's a seal on this weapon? That would be cool. It's not. there's apparently a seal on her, and he ended up. Miroku goes, "Are you sure?" And she asks him a very funny comment. "Do you want to get eaten?" "I sure don't." Undoes the seal while Toa is doing her best to not get eaten. The Totetsu sucks in again, but he sucks in a giant. I wanted to call it a gravestone, but I guess it is a memorial stone that has Buddha on it. He's like, I can't eat the Buddha, which is pretty interesting that this demon has morals. Whatever. Spits it out. Toa did a very impressive move. She blocks his swipe, and you can actually, I hate to say you can feel the weight, but you can just kind of see how heavy it is. Soon after Miroku breaks the seal off of Setsuna, she runs forward, sticks her hand in this giant demon's mouth, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get to taste half demon." And he's like, "Ooh, blood poison." She has the same markings that Shishomaru had whenever he started to go into his demon rage or his giant demon dog form. The little marks across the face and across the arms. And obviously, I thought she had a poison strike. No, she just has poison blood. And he's gagging and wheezing, and Toa's want to know if she's alright. She's like, "I'm fine." She looks just like Inuyasha and Shishomaru when they have their fangs showing and all that goodness. Excuse me. And here I am. So he's spitting on his poison, and he's like, I'm getting out of here." He goes for the cloud. Miroku throws one of his tags, says, "You're not getting away," but of course he got away. She can't control the demon blood in her. She's half demon. It's hard to control that power. Miroku goes back to sealing it again. Toa takes care of Hisui. Gives him some healing for the poison. He's smiling and he's happy. I guess to know his dad isn't the coward that he believes he is. Um, Takashio meets with Moroha and says, "By the way, the twins, the demon hunters, they actually met with that other demon. There's really no threat here, so, the bounty thing is off. Poor Moroha does not get paid for working once again. This is going to start to annoy me. Stop it." Uh, we get a moment where, Miroku is talking to the girls, says, "All right, cool." And Hisui says, "All right, father, just make sure you come home every once in a while." And Hisui's main thing was he didn't want Miroku making trouble for his mother, being away and all that and whatnot. But now he seems to understand his father's not a coward. He's telling him to be careful. He says, "I'll run away and hide if I have to." Hisui smiles and they fly off. And then Miroku looks back at his destroyed monk training grounds, and Gyoko is sweeping hilariously while there's all this rubble. And we get a funny moment from him. Meanwhile, Hisui meets with his mom. Sangou finally turns around, and she still looks young. Still looks young and fine. While Miroku does have one of these little age lines, I know he was possibly the oldest in the group, I believe. But man, they try to make it look like he's older. She still looks young. She says to Hisui she has some more protective masks for everybody. She asks if something happen, because Hisui's just standing around smiling, which means he's first character to finally get over something, I suppose, in that he trusts his father. Uh, Toa and Setsuna, Toa's finally like, "Yeah, we definitely are related because you complete, we both have half demon blood." Setsuna even says, "Maybe you inherited something because this is what I inherited. It's too strong for me, but maybe she'll learn to control it." Of course, Toa tries to get closer and wrap her arm around her. Setsuna is very tsundere, just pushes off, goes, "Don't get close to me like you know me." Blah 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 blah. End. Next episode is going to be someone named Tamano who's being chased by a mountain demon who apparently is the cause of the fire that separated the twins. This might actually be interesting. We are finally getting to something I actually care about. So, what would I rate this episode? 4.5. 4.5. And it almost started off as a 3 because earlier on the animation for Totetsu looked kind of off, like his side profile. It's like, what the heck am I looking at? But it's fine. This made up for story, depth. We had a character that actually got over something. It's nice to hear that's the original voice actor from Miroku. Rest in peace, English voice actor. I don't know who they're gonna try to get to fill in that role, but those are big shoes to fill. Get our original voice actor in Japanese back. We get some progression. We get him going. Okay, he knows. He actually knows who these people are. Won't let on that he probably knows that they're Shishomaru's kids, but he knows them. Um, we also, excuse me, we also get to see Sangou. You know, Hisui uses her boomerang. I call it the boomerang. Uses her giant, demon slaying boomerang. Even using in this episode to try to distract the stupid familiar looking Totetsu. Uh, my biases aside, because it does get annoying that Moroha is technically the best out of these three young ladies, and she's just used for comic relief when she's very knowledgeable. And I'm very annoyed that we're having a Naruto issue with her, like Naruto from Naruto Shippuden, where it's like you guys know who her parents are. Her parents are bad mofos. Tell her who they are. Explain to her lineage. Explain to her why, even though she's a quarter demon, she's still really strong, has really good senses, and shoots spirit arrows that other people cannot, except for Kaede, who is loosely related to her. Just, blah. It's very advantageous that Moroha wasn't with them because Miroku probably been like, "Oh snaps, that's you're so and so's kid," because he wasn't holding back on information. It just when Setsuna was being kind of rude, he just said, "You know what? Maybe it's a good thing you don't remember me. It's cool. It's fine." Blah 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 blah. So maybe he would have been because when it came to the four peril, he's like, "I know who you are, guy. I know what this was going on." Blah 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 blah. It's just it's nice to get an old face and feel like there's some progression. Now I changed my mind. I was gonna say 4.5. I'm gonna give it a 4, and it's because I'm getting sick of this in animes where you have these younger characters, and this is Borutoing this thing, where it's like the younger generation just man. Boruto hates his dad, even though his dad is an amazing hero that has saved not just the village but the world several times over. This dude's mad at his dad, who helped save their world, their era, who's done many pardon my language, was done many badass things. Miroku is a hero. Yeah, he was lecherous. Doesn't seem very lecherous right now. But he was lecherous in the past. He settled down. He stopped being a jerk. And I had to do a little look into Rumiko Taka. I know her last name's Takahashi. Rumiko Takahashi because she's 63. So is it these baby boomer manga artists that think that the younger generation harbors hard feelings towards, the older generation for little to no reason? I mean, Hisu's feelings is like, Dad, you're making things hard on the family, which is understandable. Hisu's trying to support the family while his father is trying to get stronger, and it is a misunderstanding that I give you. Initially, I just said this is a trend that it's getting annoying. It's getting very annoying that we have the younger generation not really liking their parents, which makes no sense. Which makes little to no sense. Maybe the one character in the one anime, Todoroki, I completely am behind him with hating his father. I need to finish season 3 because season 3 season 4, because pretty soon we're starting back up in March of 2021 with My Hero Academia. So yeah, I get this episode of 4. I'm happy to see, you know, I adored the first group. Of course, Shoshone was my favorite, but I don't know what's going on with him right now. I'm happy to see someone old come back and not be dumb, to actually share information, or when it seemed like people were being too aggressive towards him, he just takes a step back. Animation was lacking a little bit. This was a nice little stepping stone. Hopefully, the next episode will be even better. I'm very excited to learn more about why this guy separated them. Looks like he might have wanted those pearls. Can you figure out how they got them in the first place? Well, guys, that's enough from me. Please tell me what you thought of the episode down below. What are some things that you expect to come up later? Do you think we're going to see anybody else from the original show up in actually do something. Like at least Miroku and Sangou, at least they're actively helping, you know, Kohaku and their son. Hopefully, we see some other things. Uh, Again, remember to comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified of more videos like this. Please like the video. Thank you once again for your time. Hope you're having a good holiday week. Please be safe out there. As always, wash your hands, wear a mask, be good to one another. Black Lives Matter, and I will definitely see you next time.